Zangpo, and a very warm welcome to Bhutan This Week, our weekly news magazine program. I am Pemal Hadan. Our top stories this week. His Majesty the King granted an audience to the Nikim Sokpa on Tuesday. 11 army personnel died in an explosion at ammunition disposal site in Ha on Monday, and the government of India will be providing about 45 billion rupees for Bhutan's 11th five-year plan. His Majesty the King granted an audience to the Nikim Sokpa on Tuesday. The Sokpa is a group of retired Red Scarf officials. Dashu Buttercup is the oldest in the Sokpa at 97 years, and Dashu Sherab Tenzin is the youngest at 63.
The members of the Nikim Sokpa are in the capital for their annual general meeting. During the audience, His Majesty the King granted a surah of 10 million yoltrum to the foundation. The chairman of the Sokpa, Dashu Sherab Tenzin, shared that they are extremely grateful to His Majesty for his royal support.
Most of us living in far-flung, some are physically incapacitated, and some are, not able to even hear because of the age. But now, at least, receiving the audience of His Majesty has given us motivation and also incentive to work together.
Upon the royal command, the foundation was formed in May 2010. The foundation has a total of 57 members. Due to health and other problems, only 32 of the officials turned up for the annual meeting. Dashu Sherab Tenzin said the foundation was created to form a network among the retired officials.
The main objectives of the Sokpa is to promote bond of friendship, relation, and also help each other in times of need, and also take help from each other, and also provide facilities for creating the facilities for interactions amongst the retirees.
This year, the annual general meeting will focus on drafting rules and regulations for the foundation.
This year, particularly, we have got more responsibilities. So more responsibilities to prepare article. We have to draft an article, and because without an article, I think we cannot work together and achieve whatever the goals set by the Sokpa. Therefore, I think there should be common rules and regulations which needs to be followed and governed.
The Sokpa also plans to register itself as a civil society organization, but this is yet to be discussed among the members. Sherab Zangpo for BBS News.
11 army personnel died in an explosion at the ammunition disposal site in Ha on Monday. 8 were killed on the spot and 3 succumbed to injuries at the Imtrat hospital in Ha. 10 others were also injured in the accident. The explosion occurred at Anaka in Jenkhana. Upon the command of His Majesty the King, 5 seriously injured were airlifted and referred to Thimphu Hospital. The Chief Operations Officer of the Royal Bhutan Army, Major General Batusring, said, as per the standing procedures, all unserviceable ammunition has to be destroyed. The ammunition was sent under the supervision of a technically qualified officer. A news release from the RBA said while the troops were carrying out a routine procedure involving the destruction of unserviceable ammunition and fuses, one of the fuses ignited, leading to an explosion. His Majesty the King visited the site and commanded the Chief Operations Officer to make arrangements for a funeral which will be held tomorrow. The government of India will be providing 45 billion rupees to Bhutan's 11th five-year plan. This is the full amount requested by Bhutan. The Indian government will also be providing 5 billion rupees for the PDP government's economic stimulus package. This was conveyed by the Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh to Lenchen Sringtopke during their meeting earlier this week. Lynchen Sringtopge called on the Indian Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh at his residence in Delhi, India on Saturday. Lynchen called on the UPA chairperson Sonia Gandhi at her residence. Lynchen was in New Delhi on his first foreign visit after taking office to finalize India's assistance to Bhutan's 11th five-year plan. He was accompanied by his wife Tashi Doma, the Foreign Minister Rinzin Doji and other senior government officials. Drungpins of the 15 Dungkhaks in the country were in the capital for a training to enhance their skills in judicial affairs. Her Royal Highness Princess Sonam Dichin Wangchuk graced the opening session of the training, which began in Wednesday. Her Royal Highness Princess Sonam Dichin Wangchuk said, besides their judicial duties, Drungpins should create awareness on the country's policies of national interest to the people.
Jungana Chashunichi Imle Mrs. Sudachika to Adara Jawatami Boka Bute Tingi Mole Jamchi Member Geka Nam Geogi Yuda Sage to Semka Shadi Zawasumbu Nosan Techi Tango Yubikole Mrs. Sudu or Lejimbe.
The acting Chief Justice of the High Court, Drungpin Sangikhandu, shared on how to give fair judgment on the cases. Drungpin Sangikhandu reminded the Dungkhak Drungpins that in case of internal dispute settlement, one must not settle the case in haste.
토끼 베니기가 조제되는게 참 다 로라노스디기가 디 아티치다 차이데 베니기 참디기베 많은 참을 뛴디기 두 바이 쇼디기베 같이 나리 데츠투 시니미 수준이비.
Drungpin Pemongchuk said, other than judicial education and management of courts, trial of children with conflict of law has been included in the training this time.
This time we have incorporated one new issues, that is on the child, that is particularly when the children are in conflict with laws.
Similar training was held last year. For BBS News, this is Pemal Hardin's report. The Thai authorities at the Suvarnabhumi airport on Sunday detained 3 Bhutanese for allegedly smuggling illegal substance called ketamine during a random check. While one is still in custody in Thailand, the other 2 who were released have been detained by Paro police for further questioning.
On the 1st of September, 3 Bhutanese nationals, 2 women and a man, were detained by the Thai authorities at the Suvarnabhumi airport in Bangkok for allegedly smuggling 5 kilograms of illegal substance called ketamine. The 3 were sharing the same suitcase where the substance was found. After the Thai authorities informed the Bhutanese embassy in Bangkok, the Royal Bhutanese Embassy Consular Service had immediately sent a senior officer to the airport. Upon the intervention of the embassy, the Thai authorities released 2 of the individuals. One of the women is currently under custody of the Thai authorities, who informed the embassy that she will have to appear before the court. The date of the court appearance will be announced shortly. The Royal Bhutanese Embassy will continue to monitor the case and also be present during the court appearance. According to the embassy, the Thai authorities have been very cooperative and had expressed shock over the incident, saying this is the first time a Bhutanese national has been implicated. In the meantime, the individual has claimed that she was not aware of carrying the illegal substance as it was given to her by a non-Bhutanese who had claimed it was an incense and had requested her to take it to Bangkok, and he had promised to pay her Thai baht of 5,000 for the help. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs meanwhile urged all Bhutanese travelers not to carry parcel for unknown persons and to be aware that some countries have very strict laws on possession of illegal substance, including life imprisonment or death penalty. Karmat Singh, BBS News.
The road at Box cutting in Galliford is a problem every monsoon. Commuters have to risk their lives travelling through the area. The possibility of an alternative route was discussed at the Zongkak Tsogdu held recently, says the executive engineer of the Department of Roads in Sarpang.
Box cutting is located about 18 kilometers from Galliford on the Galliford-Shemgang highway. The area stretches about 200 meters only, but the magnitude of problem it creates for the travelers, especially during monsoon season, is huge. The soil in the area is loose, because of which it is easily washed away by the rain and also poses risk for vehicles traveling on it. The area falls under Sejong Gyeok in Galliford Dungkak. At the recent Zongkak Tsogdu held in Serpong, the GUP of the Gyeok said the road is too risky to use during the monsoon season. He added that the people are willing to offer their land and orange orchard to construct an alternate route.
The government is aware of the problem, but since they don't have to travel this route frequently, they think the situation is fine. About 3 excavators are deployed at the site every year for maintaining the route, but it is of not much benefit to the public, and on the other hand, the government incurs huge expenditure on its maintenance. Instead of spending so much on maintenance, if the government could look for an alternative route, that would be more beneficial.
The executive engineer of the Department of Roads said a proper study will have to be conducted before finalizing the alternate route. He pointed out that the alternative route through the area suggested by the GUP is not feasible because of the similar soil composition in the area.
We have been looking for the alternative route also. We have requested headquarters for the people from headquarters, like geologists and surveyor. They came, and myself with the surveyor, we have seen the alternate route. But as per our geologists and surveyors, they said that almost all the areas are same. Before executing or before taking any decision, we have to see the soil strata. Because if I said earlier, if the stratas are same, then there's no point of doing that work.
He mentioned that 2 possibilities are being considered. One is from above the Choten over the box cutting area, and the other from the hot spring to Surrey or Ronkola. If one of the routes is found to be feasible, a major problem along the Galliford-Shemgang highway will be solved. But for that to happen, the geologists and surveyors must carry out follow-up survey of the areas identified. Ishori Gurung, BBS News, Galliford.
Compared to last year, this year the price of apples has drastically decreased. This, the exporters said, has been mainly due to the bountiful apple harvest in Himachal Pradesh and Kashmir, the largest apple baskets of India.
Last year, exporters fetched as high as nearly 1,500 per box of apples. This year, the rate slumped to 500 to 600 per box on an average. Exporters said this time, with good quality of apples available at cheaper rates in India, lesser importers from India and Bangladesh turned up for the business. They said that at times there are days with no exports at all.
We bought these apples about 2 days ago at 550 to 600 Nultrum per box. We haven't been able to sell them because of the bumper yield in India. That's why we are now selling them at 500 Nultrum per box.
There are no importers, so whatever is being supplied, we repack it to store it for a longer period. Right now we are running at loss and the market is down due to the good apple yield in India.
Exporters agreed that the Bhutanese apples are of good quality, but the farmers lack expertise in proper grading and packaging of the product. As a result, while auctioning, it becomes difficult for the exporters to convince the importers about the quality of the apples.
The quality of the apples are good. In fact, they are even better than the Kashmiri ones. But the apples are spoilt while being plucked from the tree because farmers are not careful while doing so. Therefore, we are not able to fetch a good price. Farmers think that just because the apples are red, they should get a good price.
There is no proper grading being done by the farmers here. At times, they pack the small and big apples together, which the importers do not like. Moreover, due to labor shortage, farmers employ children to pack the apples. but children have no knowledge about grading.
Mostly export apples are brought from Paro, Ha and Thimphu. The export season began in the mid of August this year. From Finsening, Sormongdi for PBS News.
The problem of getting LPG cylinders in Bumtang has been worsened over the days. People of Bumtang queued outside Bumtang fuel depot on Tuesday night to get refilled cooking gas cylinders. Since the cylinders are distributed only during the day, people waited till Wednesday morning to get the cylinders. This was the scene at the Bumtang fuel depot on Tuesday night. It was 10 p.m. Since a truckload of cylinders arrived on Tuesday evening, people started to pour in at the depot so that they are able to get their cylinders, which are limited in number. Some spent the night in their cars parked near the depot. People shared their frustration over the limited supply of cylinders in the Zongkhak.
If they give us the cylinders instantly, it will be convenient for us. Tonight, we have not slept. They will give us cylinders at 8 a.m. on Wednesday, so we have to wait. There is a chance of losing our cylinders if we sleep. There are many people in the queue.
On Wednesday morning, 280 cylinders were sold. But even then, over 150 returned home with their empty cylinders.
They supply only one truckload of LPG cylinders to Bumtang. Almost 50% of us have to return home empty-handed. We are very concerned about the LPG situation here.
According to the fuel depot officials, there was some shortage in the supply due to the strikes and roadblock caused by Deoshuri Bridge in Assam. They added the other major problem is hoarding of LPG cylinders by the people. However, BOD is hopeful that once the commercial cylinder for central region is approved, the problem will be solved. Kampal for Komal Kharka, Sunam Hamo for PBS News. Monsoon season is a big problem for the most of the students in Sarpang Zongkhak. Even streams become big, making it difficult for students to walk to school and back home.
Every day, 20 children from Menchutang village under Dikilingyok walk for 3 hours to school and back home. Because of the long distance, children start to get ready for school by 6 in the morning. It's not only the distance that's the problem. A much bigger concern is the Ratikola, which children have to cross to get to their school. To help children cross the Ratikola, residents of the village collectively construct a temporary bridge over it. Every year, residents have to make the bridge at least 3 times as it gets washed away. Despite the bridge, every day, parents go with the children to help them cross the Solan stream. In the absence of a permanent bridge, it's a big concern not just for the students but for the parents as well.
पानी आउँदाखेरि खोला बढ्छ अनि हामीले लिन आउनुपर्छ बिहान बेलुका लिन आउनुपर्छ बिहान पुर्याउन आउनुपर्छ
यो पाले अब यो सरकारले एउटा पुल दिनु सके त राम्रो हुन्थ्यो र हामीलाई धेरै सजिलो हुन्थ्यो रहेछ यो यस्तो पुलले साह्रो पर्दछ
छुबो मोमेला धेरै गाची लबडान जोमिस जाम्पा बाग जोमेला छुगी धेरै गाची निम सुमदासी आना छिमना देउला
छुबो मोमे गाची लबडान जोमिस
बोमसुरा गाची रे दिलो
Children of Chuburtang, Tashithang and Thongjazor villages under Umlingyok are also faced with a similar situation, if not worse. To get to their school, children of the 3 villages have to cross the Lankar stream. The stream swells during the monsoon and dries up once the rainy season is over. As such, there is no temporary bridge built over the stream.
Chapshu chadri chuge matwa de rejiga yale pamgyo ba de pamgyo chuge matwa jang lok chimna jobidel lobdana himju nga chinge mar chimna de dol apa ai di sombe taoni la dile apa dai gi chubom dula chinga chimna de ni la chubum da de alu de chuge bak jojoina de abda ai de sate sonam gi la ba da de asachi chimna ma de chaja bom lamel
le rana sa gi alu rana sa bak de te mire re alu gi te ane be lam khalu
Yodi Gani Vilato Chalavilla. The cup dinga Chermi bomb game is Sula, Tingal Aldis locked on a Matamajacola.
Then now hip the Anadin Amsami bomb jaila. There's Zamba Chunguchi, but in the name Summit took me.
Meanwhile, the Geok and the Dzongkhag administration are looking at ways to solve the problem. The GUP of the Geok said constructing a bridge in the area is not feasible as the soil is not stable. Kampan for Puba, Ishwar Gurung, BBS News, Galifu.
Well, that is all we have for this week. Join us next week for yet another edition of Bhutan This Week. Until then, this is Pimal Hadin saying goodbye.